What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to Maps Exposed. This is the series where I share all the lines of sight, as well as any other secret spots that I know of on every map in CoD World War II. In today's episode, we're going to be covering the second of the DLC 2 maps, and this is Dunkirk. Alright guys, so let's start off over towards the A flag right here. If you're coming out of the A spawns, and maybe you guys have guys that are trying to pin you back in your spawn by just locking down that doorway there, and as you come around that corner, they're just going to pick you off, you can actually just jump up on the barrels right here. You get a great line of sight on them. That's one option. If you have time, this one's obviously going to take a bit more time, and you're really going to expose yourself, but you can actually jump across to this area right here, and you can actually see right into that room there. So if you really have those people locking down that building, sometimes you have guys just sitting there with a shotgun, and then they just keep killing you as they come out of spawn. This can be an excellent way to counter them, and they'll have no idea what hit them. Next up, towards the middle of the map there, that boat is a power position. You'll often get people that just camp there all game long with an LMG or a sniper rifle or something along those lines, and especially in like Domination, for instance, where you have to get to that B flag, it can be kind of frustrating. It's hard to push out and challenge those guys. So a great way to pick those guys off as you come out of spawn, this works especially well with the sniper rifle, but any sort of accurate weapon will do the trick. If you jump up on these sandbags, there you go. You get an excellent line of sight. You can see them if they're head glitching up on the front of the boat there. I can't remember the names of boat parts. Yeah, I'm a noob. Whatever. You can pick them off there, or if they're in the boat right there, you can easily pick them off through there. They won't see you through here unless they're running lookout, and even then, you've got a great piece of cover. You can always just crouch to take cover from them, and you'll often be able to pick them off before pushing up and capturing that B flag. An alternative to that gives you a better line of sight across there, but you also kind of expose yourself a bit more, is if you hop on the barrels right here, you can actually jump on top of this little tarp here on this. So you can just like pop yourself up. Like I said, pretty exposed up here, but you can see a bit more of what's going on. So you can see that entire boat area. You can almost see towards the B flag as well. Like if they happen to be capturing the B flag from right there, you can pick them off through there. And I think you can also, yeah, you can get a nice little line of sight to those barrels right there. But you are very exposed to those people on the barrels. So they actually see more of you than you see of them at this point. Now, pushing up towards this area here, oftentimes you'll have people in those windows. We're going to have a few little lines of sight to counter the people in the windows, but if you're in this area right here, this is actually a very practical line of sight that I use all the time. Of course, you have to check to make sure nobody's on those barrels and everything's clear here, but if there's a guy in a window up there, if you just back off to right here, easy kill on that guy. He won't be able to see you very easily through there at all. You can see his entire body that he's exposing through his window at least, and you'll win that gunfight 9 times out of 10 as long as somebody doesn't come to these barrels and pick you off. Now, getting down on the beach towards the B Domination Flag, there's a great line of sight to the window right there. That's a really easy way to pick those people off, and you're actually nice and safe here. But if you're in like a gun battle and they're shooting back at you and they know that you're peeking this area, another alternative is hop up on this barrel, and there you go. You have another clean shot at those guys, and you can just kind of use that to try and outplay those guys. Just, of course, keep in mind, you're very exposed to anybody that's in this area here. Next up on this boat, like I said, this is a power position, and people will often camp this, but you can use this to your advantage as well. If you're trying to defend the B flag in Domination, for instance, most people will stand like right here. It's exactly where they'll expect, and what we're going to be focusing on is countering those people on those barrels there, because that's a very common place for people to camp. A great way to take them off guard, instead of trying to challenge from all the predictable ways, is if you jump up right here, mantle up this area, obviously make sure that window is clear at the moment. If you mantle up here and strafe over a little bit, there you go. Great line of sight on them. You can even like strafe over as you're crouched and then just suddenly pop up. There you go. Free kill on those guys. Just keep in mind though, this is like paper thin. They can shoot through this no problem. So it's just concealment. It's not really cover for you. Now, if you're coming from the other direction and you have enemies up in the window there, this is kind of a reverse to that spot, but with this spot, we don't have that like excellent line of sight that we can use through a window to pick those guys off. What we can do though still is jump up on this barrel, and there you go. If you strafe a little to the right, easy line of sight on those guys. There's no way they're going to see you through there. Again though, you have to be sure that this area is locked down. Otherwise, you're just completely exposing yourself to anybody that's coming from over here. Now, inside these buildings themselves, there isn't really much to show you guys as far as like special unique spots. They're really simple rooms and everything. Nothing really worth mentioning, but if you have enemies camped up in the window there and you happen to get underneath them, you can actually pick them off right through this floor right here, especially if you have armored and FMJ, or even just one or the other. If you have armored or FMJ, you should still be able to pick these guys off through the floor right here, no problem, and they won't be able to look down far enough unless they mantle right up into the windowsill. So finally, one more line of sight I have for you guys, and you guys might have seen this in my live streams, is if you back off to this area over here by the C flag, look at that. Perfect line of sight into that window. This is excellent if you're coming out of spawn and you have a sniper rifle or just a really accurate long-range rifle. I always use this as a check spot now as I push towards this direction. I just come over here, have a look. If somebody's in that window, which they often are, easy kill on them. Just pick them off and then you can move on and continue with your business. It also kind of works from back here. You get to see a bit more of the height of the window if you come back here, but you are cutting half the window off, so that's why if you push over to this area, you can see a much larger area of that window. And most of the time, they're not going to be seeing you all the way back here. So there we have it. That's going to wrap it up for today's episode of Maps Exposed. We have one more map to cover for DLC 2, and this is Egypt. If you guys have missed any of the previous maps, of course, I will leave a link to the playlist down below, and I have already covered V2 when it comes to this DLC map pack. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.